Final year should not be a time of stress and anxiety. And of course, I know that many of you may have parties you're probably going to go to and ring in the new year drinking champagne, and it's wonderful, and you should. You should spend the final moments of this year in celebration and in happiness, and maybe share a kiss with a person you love. Probably for Reverend Cindy and myself, we will be long asleep by that time. We usually go to bed around 9:30. But that being said, right, with all of that in mind, I highly recommend that you also just carve out a little bit of time to sit down and reflect on all the gifts that we've been given in this year alone, right? Remember all of the people who helped you this year, who helped me. Remember all of the community who you were able to be a part of, engage with. And then finally, for all of us who are followers of the Jodo Shinshu teaching, let us not forget of the endless wisdom and compassion that continues to work for our benefit, for our understanding, for our real sense of reality of the world. That is Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion that is freely given to us every second of every day. What's wonderful about our teaching is that it is a teaching of hope. In this time sometimes of very much divisiveness, and we see news reports of military drills happening where the world is just once again going on the brink of getting into a fight, it's important that we end the year on a time of compassion, understanding, and peace, and a sense of true gratefulness for the gifts that we've been given throughout this year. Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion never ceases to reach us, even if we refuse to listen. When the time of the world is chaotic and we definitely, don't listen to the Dharma very well and get into fights or conflict, it is a wonderful opportunity to come to the temple, sit down very gently, and listen to the words of our masters, like Shinran Shonin or the Seven Pure Land Masters, or Shakyamuni Buddha himself, and remind ourselves that this world is all connected, all beings are connected, and that peace is really the only way to live harmoniously. Because in times of great conflict, we forget that we are all connected and that hurting one of us hurts all of us. I hope that with the reflection that we have this year, that we can continue delivering this message of peace and gratitude. Gratitude for the people around us, gratitude for the community, and gratitude for all of us in this room. Gratitudes to our family, gratitude to our friends who stick with us day in and day out, and gratitude to all of the teachers who gave us these life lessons. If we can live in this way, we truly listen to Shinran Shonin's message of what we call Shinjin, or faith, in Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion. This is because this type of wisdom and compassion, or this type of love, is not something that you can see, just like light. Light is not something we can see with the naked eye. And at the same time, it reflects on the surface of everything that our eyes can see in this world. This type of love is reflected in our actions towards each other, our words towards each other, and of course, Namo Amida Butsu. This is why we place our hands together and say Namo Amida Butsu. We are acknowledging the wisdom and compassion that comes to us from the Pure Land, here and now, purely for our benefit. And for those of you who are newcomers, let me also be clear that this type of wisdom and compassion, or the benefits of Namo Amida Butsu, is not going to make you rich. It's not going to give you material wealth. And of course, it's not going to heal a sickness that is there as well, right? Medicine does that. But what Namo Amida Butsu does is it gives us a real sense of settlement in the way the world is and where we are right now, knowing that we are okay, that we are good, because Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion works for us right here and now. When we think about the impacts that we have on the world as a collective and as an individual, all we can think about is, all we can do sometimes is think about how much we're harming things. But at the same time, we as humans are capable of great things as well. We are capable of great acts of kindness and great acts of courage. But this is also because the Dharma is there to guide us. Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion helps to influence us when we choose to do things that help people rather than harm them. And also to acknowledge that we are imperfect human beings and continue to learn on a daily basis. Sorry if my message seems a little long today, but I want us to reflect on this year thoroughly, 2025. Some of you may say it was a great year because some great things happened to you. Others may say this was a horrible year because of all the terrible things that happened and of all the people we lost this year as well. But when you think about it with the truth of the Dharma, it just was a year. And good things happened and bad things happened. Or wonderful things happened and things that hurt us happened. And all of those things that happen, what never ceases, or what should never cease, is our mindfulness on the Dharma. What should never cease is our recitation of Namo Amida Butsu. I take refuge in the Buddha of infinite light and infinite life. And this isn't to say that we're weak or stupid or that we can't do anything by ourselves, but it acknowledges I am human. I could use a little help every now and then. I could use some togetherness with others, and of course, the working of Amida Buddha's vow. This reminds us that we are not alone. This reminds us that we can't do everything by ourselves. But yet at the same time, it doesn't stop us from trying to do better. Just because we may not be able to change the world in one day or in 1 second, doesn't mean that we don't stop our best from trying to do better every single day. I thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy New Year's Eve to come to the temple and to listen to the Dharma of the words of Master Shinran Shonin and Shakyamuni Buddha. In closing, I would like us to slightly bow our heads as I read the words of our 8th priest, Master Reinyo Shonin, to end this year on the tradition of wisdom from his letters, which is called Gobunsho. And in these letters, I will first read the letter in English, and then I will end it by reading it in Japanese. And the letter is called Shonin Ichiryusho, or the traditions or the teachings of Shinran Shonin. Shinran Shonin taught that the essence of the Jodo Shinshu is Shinjin. The reason is that by abandoning all other practices and completely entrusting ourselves in Amida Buddha, our spiritual rebirth is assured by Amida through the inconceivable power of the primal vow. This is known as entering the ranks of the truly assured or truly settled at the very moment of Shinjin or faith. Thereafter, all utterances of Namo Amida Butsu should be understood only as expressions of gratitude for Amida's assurance of our spiritual rebirth. With reverence, I remain. Shonin Ichiryu no gokanke no omomuki wa shinjin no motte honto serare soro. Sono yue wa moromoro no zongyo wo nagesutete isshin ni mida ni kimyo sureba. 不可思議の眼力として仏の方より往生は事情せしめたも。そのくらいを一年発起入賞上始終とも釈し、その上の称名念仏た如来我が往生を定めたまいし、ご恩法人の念仏と心 べきなり、あなかしこ、あなかしこ。Please join me in 合唱。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナマンダーツナマンダーツナマンダーツナマンダーツナマン。